Hey everybody. I don't know if the lighting is very good in here, but we'll try anyways. So this lesson in processing is about coordinates, and there's a link in the student guide about um, just more information about coordinates, and it's in this webpage on the left here. I'm just going to talk you through a bit of it because I noticed that students, when they learn some of the main things like drawing a circle and a rectangle and a line, they don't really understand what the numbers are that they're putting in. It's quite important to know how to control the position of the drawings that you're doing. So I also teach math in addition to these other classes. And when we teach math, we have this X and Y coordinate. We call it the Cartesian plane, and we plot points like you see here. You've probably seen this in grade 7 or grade 8 or something, even earlier for some people. But it just tells us the location of the start and the location of the end, and we connect them together. In processing, we need to give the computer the same instructions. Draw a line from this coordinate to this coordinate. And computers deal with coordinates in a different way. They don't use the Cartesian plane from 8th grade. They use this computer coordinate system where 0, 0 is the top left. And then we work across pixel by pixel to the right. That's our x coordinates. So thankfully it's still the horizontal, and then the vertical is the y coordinates going up and down. So we can draw all sorts of shapes. We can just put a point, we can put a line, we can put a rectangle or an ellipse. A circle is just a perfect ellipse. It has the same width and the same height. And we just have to make sure we specify the coordinates we want to use. So you can type the word point and you can put the x and y coordinates and you'll get a point on the screen. So I could do that right now. I just have to say size. Let's do 30, 30, and then type point. And let's do it at 5, 5. We'll see what comes up here. It's going to be super small, but should work. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that, but we have a 30 by 30 window, and there's a little point here at 5 by 5. If I made it, let's do 300 by 300, and the point's going to be at 50 and 50. You get the idea. It's going to plot a point. There it is. Super small. It's hardly even visible, but it's just a little black point. Then we can move on to plotting lines. To plot a line, you need to say what the start and the end point is going to be. So if I change this to be line, and I say 50, 50, that's where it's going to start. And then the next coordinate is, let's say, 100, 100. We have a line that starts at 50, 50 and ends at 100, 100. And remember, this is 300 pixels wide by 300 pixels down. Okay? So that's for lines. The same for a rectangle. I won't put it on the screen, but you can choose the corner as your starting point. So you need to specify the coordinates of the corner, top left corner, so stating the x and y coordinates, and then the width, so maybe it's 100 wide or whatever, and the height. Okay, so that's the format for rectangle. You could learn these new modes, so you could type rect mode with a capital M and center, and then it's going to take the coordinates of the center and then build a rectangle a certain width and a certain height around the center. So is it going to let me copy this text? No, it's not going to because it's an image, but I could type this in rect mode center and then type the coordinates of where I would be starting. You wouldn't want to use 3, 2, and 4, 2 anyways because it would be too small. But if you were using a window that was this size, 300 by 300, you could find measurements that would fit. Okay, another one is rect mode corners, where you state the x and y coordinates of the top left and then the x and y coordinates of the bottom right. Okay, that's another one you could experiment with. Typically when we do an ellipse or a circle, okay, an ellipse is just an elongated version of a circle. a circle is the perfect same height and same width. We specify the center first, so we have x and y. Okay, so let me just type ellipse. Okay, so the center of this circle is going to be at 50 and 50, and the height of the circle is 100, and the width is 100. So in other words, it's the diameter across the circle, but we have two measurements for diameter. We have the height and the width. Okay. So this is going to be a perfect circle, center 50, 50, and 100 high and 100 wide. Okay. And it fits perfectly here because we went down 50 units or 50 pixels and then another 50. So luckily it fit on my screen. If I change this to be, let's say 50, for example, and click run, we're going to get an oval shape or an ellipse like this. So my width is still 100, but my height is only 50 now. And my center hasn't changed either. It's still at 50, 50. Okay. You can also use the corner mode, and you can use, yeah, those are the only two. Oh, you can specify one corner, sorry, I should say. You can specify one corner and then the measurements of the width and the height, or you can specify two corners and then it'll draw the circle within those parameters. Okay, so I want to have you take a chance at drawing your own picture using rectangles, lines, and circles or ellipses. And I'd love to see what you come up with. If you could take a screenshot of making a simple drawing. If you know how to use colors and stuff like that, great. If not, absolutely fine. Just get used to positioning things with some symmetry on the screen. Okay, and if you're struggling with what to do, you could take all of this text here, copy and paste it. I don't want you to use just this, but this will give you the image that I've got on the screen there. So same one, same size actually and everything. But I would love if you, you must change it and make it different. Okay, so you could add some little eyes here or some arms or make the legs longer, whatever you decide. Okay, good luck with it. Thanks.